Hi everyone, I'm Matt Gash with SoundersFC.com here alongside the voice of the Sounders FC, Arlo White. The Sounders dropped to Monterrey 2-0, but really an entertaining night, wasn't it?
I thought so. I stated on the radio broadcast that actually, I mean, you know better than me, but obviously for seeing the whole inaugural season as well, but in a competitive match, I would say that's the best team that's ever come to Quest Field. Okay, Barcelona, Chelsea, Boca, Celtic, you know, in friendlies. By the way, I'd rank them third behind Barcelona and Celtic in that scenario.
Chelsea rather than
Sorry,
Celtic.
yes, Chelsea, yeah, obviously.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I've kind of laboured the point a bit. But in terms of entertainment, I thought it was great. Now, we're up against it in terms of qualification from this group now, opening with two defeats. But I thought they came with a really good attitude. They played with a higher tempo than I expected from a Mexican team. They zipped the ball around. But guess what? We lived with it. And had we taken some early chances when we were just skying a few shots, maybe not taking the right final ball, and put chances away later on in the game, you know, we could have made it really nervy for Monterrey. I think the Jaquer goal was onside. He was level, I think, to be honest with you. We've had some terrific opportunities. Nyasi hitting the post, Levesque's flying header that went straight to the goalkeeper, Seaman in the area, low save by Roscoe. So I think, you know, we can take a lot from this, that we lived with a team that are currently third in the Mexican League on what, for me, was a really entertaining night.
It kind of, in some ways, mirrored the start of the MLS season, where so many chances and you feel like you were the better team that night and couldn't come away with the win. Maybe here over the last two-thirds of the group stage, we'll get the turnaround like the Sounders saw in MLS play.
Yeah, and it's obvious from the opening few games. I haven't seen Saprissa play yet, but Monterrey are the best team in this group. Now, what we need is for Monterrey to carry on winning. Right. We need to win in Saprissa next game. There's no question about that. So, although I do remember your team, Newcastle, you know, a few years ago in the Champions League, losing their opening 3 games in a group, winning their last 3 to get through. So you need a dominant team to keep winning, which I think Monterrey will do. We need to win in Saprissa, and we need to take care of business. You know, we need to win against Marathon and Saprissa at home. So if you count those as 9 points, then maybe get a point in Monterrey. 10 points should be enough. But look, there's a mountain to climb now, isn't there? But I'm enjoying this tournament. I genuinely am enjoying this tournament. I'm enjoying seeing different sort of football. I know the Monterrey coach played it slightly cautiously. He played a couple of his big players on the bench, but Humberto Suazo came into the game late on. I almost saw him play at the World Cup finals for Chile, but he was injured just before the finals, and he played a few of Chile's later games. And I did the Honduras game, so he didn't play, and I was disappointed because I'd heard a lot about him. What he did in 10 minutes tonight was unbelievable. That ball with the outside of his right boot to Santana on the far post was unbelievable. 40 yards and it dropped right to his instep. It was just magnificent. So to see players of that standard in a competitive match at this stadium, I think is great, and it's a sign of, hopefully, of things to come. So from that point of view, I really enjoyed it, but in terms of results, obviously, if they want to qualify for the quarterfinals, they have to improve. Right.
And adding on to that point, this is one of the better teams we'll see here, and the Sounders hung with them. So despite 2 losses here in the last 2 matches, it's tough to say they haven't maintained the momentum from their 9-game unbeaten streak.
Oh, absolutely. And again, it was just that little bit of poise in the final third, and the Sounders could have been 1-2 up in the first 20 minutes. I mean, they came out and played really well. They came out in the second half and played really well as well. So the chances were there. The general all-round play was there. The commitment is always there, really. Nate Jaquer in the second half was fantastic. He really, and that's an interesting situation now developing. Blaise played well in the first half, but Nate came in like he really wanted to make an impact on the game. And as I say, scored, for me, a perfectly legitimate goal. I think he was level on the offside. But his general play, the way he was sliding balls through, dropping off, beating his first man, also being a threat in the air, I thought was absolutely terrific. So look, plenty to take out of this game. An entertaining night, and we lived with a team, as I say, who are third in the Mexican League and playing very well. And really, we walk away disappointed not to get at least a point.
Next up for the Sounders, Saturday night against the Chicago Fire. Too bad there's no intriguing backstories on that game, right?
Should be a fairly dull afternoon, really, shouldn't it? Can't really think of it. Nothing springs to mind.
Yeah, well, we'll be here nevertheless. We hope to see you here as well. He's Arlo White. I'm Matt Gash. This has been your review for SoundersFC.com.